Peace and blessings. Welcome to my channel. My name is Taj Utsi and I am a certified financial coach. I am also the founder of True Financial Coaching, where our mission here is to help you to invest in yourself. And the way we do that is by educating you, enlightening you, and equipping you with the financial literacy that is needed in order to get you off the rat wheel. And you may ask, what is the rat wheel? Well, the rat wheel is when one is constantly, continuously financing objects that go down in value for the consumer, but up in value for the banks. The rat wheel is only powered so long as the rat is continuously moving. Once the rat stops moving, then the wheel stops. So when one stops financing these depreciating objects, then they're off the rat wheel. And then they become free to do what they want, when they want, instead of having to do things that they don't want. Today's video is a continuation of a series of videos that we have been doing on Dave Ramsey's 7 baby steps. And in this video, we'll be going over baby step 6 in Dave Ramsey's plan. And again, Dave Ramsey is an American personality, financial coach, financial talk show host. And he provides people with very helpful information in order to help them get out of debt and then to begin wealth. So again, in this video, we'll be going over baby step 6 of his 7 baby steps. And you can refer back to the previous videos in which we discussed baby steps 1 through 5. So in today's lesson, today's video, baby step 6 is when one pays off their mortgage. They attack the mortgage, pay it off. So up until this point, one is already debt-free from consumer debt, credit cards, personal loans, payday loans, car notes, cell phone financing, so they're debt free from that. They've established their 3 to 6 month emergency fund. They're investing in retirement, 15% into retirement. And then they're also, if they have children, putting towards the children's college fund. So now they can at the point where if one has a mortgage, now they can begin to attack that with intentionality. And the way Dave Ramsey encourages people to do that is after you've got your budget, so any extra income after you've done your 15% of retirement and after you've put some money away in your children's college fund, any additional funds put towards your mortgage. Put that towards your mortgage, towards the principal, make extra principal payments in order to eliminate that mortgage, and then you become completely debt-free. So one of the ways that you can pay down the mortgage earlier is by looking at your mortgage payments, your amortization schedule, and that can give you an idea as to how much interest you're making per payment, how much is going towards escrow, and how much is going towards principal. Once you look at your amortization schedule, you can get a better idea as to how much additional payments you can make towards the principal in order to eliminate paying extra interest. When you do that, again, you can just divide up a mortgage payment. Let's say you just have a mortgage payment of $1,000 or $1,200. Keep it simple. You have your mortgage payment is $1,200. Well, one way that you can cut down the years on that mortgage payment is by taking that $1,200 that you would pay per month on your mortgage, divide that up by 12, which is 12 months in a year, which means pay an additional extra $100 towards the principal each month of your mortgage. When you make that extra $100 per month, you're now paying $1,300 because that's $1,200 that you normally would pay, plus the $100 that you split up amongst 12 months. So by doing that, that means you're cutting down your mortgage timeline because you'll be making one additional payment every year. Now, that's one way you can do it. You can pay more than that. But the more you pay towards principal, it cuts down on that term for the mortgage. Once you've done that, you become debt free from the mortgage payment. Now you can say you're a true homeowner. Because as I often say, and I've said in other videos, homeowners do not make payments. Let's say that again. Homeowners do not make payments. When one has a mortgage, they call themselves homeowners. But if you call yourself a homeowner with a mortgage, what do you call an individual that doesn't have a mortgage, that has a home that they own? What do you call them? That's the $1,000,000 question. So again, homeowners do not make payments. If you have a mortgage, you're financing the home. The bank owns the home. They lend you money so that you can finance the home. To prove that a person with a mortgage isn't a homeowner, if one stops making payments on that home, then they can go into foreclosure where the bank comes in and takes the home. The bank cannot take something away from me if I own it. So that lets me know that I'm not a homeowner. But this is the program that many people have fell into, believing that they own something that they didn't have the money to buy. That's why they needed to take a loan. So pay off the mortgage early. If you have a 15-year term or a 30-year term, it doesn't take that long to pay off a home, especially if you are intentional about making payments and putting extra towards the principal to knock down the interest that you have to pay on the principal, to eliminate extra interest payments or interest payments that you don't need to be making. With mortgages, the banks, in many cases, depending upon what type of mortgage you have, because two of the most common mortgages that we have here in the States are the conventional mortgages and the FHA mortgages. Conventional mortgages, when you go to a bank and you put down 20% or more, making a down payment of 20% on the more or more. And once you do that, that eliminates what the banks have is called PMI, which is primary mortgage insurance. So if you can make 20% down payment or greater, you eliminate PMI, primary mortgage insurance, because PMI protects the banks. A lot of people that finance homes, they think that PMI is a good thing for them. No, PMI protects the banks, because the banks, they're lending you money, and you don't have 20% or greater to put on that. Now you become a risk. There's a higher risk of you not being able to make the payments. So the banks want to make sure that if you default on the loan, that they still get paid. So again, PMI is not for the financer. The PMI protects the bank, private mortgage insurance, what I like to call paying more insurance, right? Because you don't have to pay it if you have that 20% down. So with conventional loans, there are different qualifications, higher standards of qualifications compared to an FHA loan. So with the conventional loans, you need 20% down. Your credit score has to be, I believe, let me check, but the credit score, I believe it has to be 650 or higher. Um, if it's 650, then your interest rates are going to be a little bit more. Beg your pardon, credit score of at least 620, right? If your credit score is higher than 740, you'll get lower interest rates. So because the banks look at you as a less risky investment, because when one is financing, the bank is investing in you. Again, I'm not against mortgages, but I'm just with the mindset that it doesn't take 15 or 30 years to pay off a home. If you do it right, you get it done in 7, maybe 10 years max. But it doesn't take 15, 20, 30 years to pay off a home. And in some cases, they have 40-year mortgages. 40-year mortgages means you're 40 years an indentured servant. Because again, when you have debt, that house that you're mortgaging, it ties yourself to your job, ties yourself to the banks, ties yourself to that object. Again, I'm not against mortgages, but if you have to get a mortgage, you should not have to take 30 years or 15 years or the entire length of the loan to pay off that mortgage. Because by that time, you would have paid double the cost of the original cost of the home. You would have paid double because of the interest. So you want to knock it out as quickly as possible. Again, if you have to get a mortgage, do the conventional mortgage, because again, you do have higher standards, 20% down. If you don't have 20% down, then you pay less than that, then you're going to have to pay the primary mortgage insurance, PMI. Also, your credit score should be 620 or higher. If it's above 740, you tend to get the lower interest rates. If it's above 740, you get the lower interest rates. Below 740, interest rates may be a little higher because you're more greater risk. And additionally, the debt to income ratio, they say it should be 36%, meaning that the total monthly debts that you have, car payments, credit cards, etc., compared to your monthly income. So when you do that ratio, it should be below 36%, and you'll get approved. In most cases, you'll get approved. And also, you make sure you have to have the proof of the down payment in cash. So the conventional loans is the best way to go. The best way to go. Also, with conventional loans, again, the banks, if you don't have that 20% down payment, they will charge you PMI, but you want to avoid paying that extra unnecessary insurance. So Dave Ramsey, his rule of thumb with mortgages is that it should be 25% of your take home pay, no more than 25% of your take home pay, no more than 25% of your take home pay. So again, if your monthly take home pay, if your monthly take home pay is $5,000 a month, then your mortgage payment should be no more than 25% of that. 25% of 5,000 is about what is $1,250. So your mortgage payment should be no more than $1,250 based upon that example. Now remember, with this 25% rule of thumb that Dave Ramsey promotes, that also should also include any insurance premiums that you have in that PMI or MIP. MIP, again, is for FHA loans. So that's the second type of loan. FHA loans in America, Federal Housing Authority. These are for individuals that do not meet the standards for conventional loans. So these are for individuals that have lower down payments, like 3%, 3 to 6%. Their credit score is low. I believe, let me see. I believe the credit score for a FHA loan is about, I believe, if I'm correct, at least 500. So your credit score is at least 500. Also, your debt to income ratio, instead of 36% or less for conventional, would be 50% or less, The 10% down payment if your credit score is from 500 to 579. But again, these FHA loans are typically 30 years in length because the borrower doesn't have the money to even put down anything. So you're paying MIP in this cases, which stands for mortgage insurance premiums, and all that is at the front of the loan. So, if your mortgage payment is $1,000, the majority of that money is going towards interest because you are at very high risk to the bank. And the bank wants to make sure that they get their money up front. They want to make sure they get paid first in case you foreclose on the loan. So, with that being said, FHA loans are for people that don't realize they don't have the money to even put down on a loan. They give it an easier, looser requirements, barrier of interest, most people call it. But this is for people that don't realize they don't have enough to make a payment as a down payment. And they don't qualify for the conventional loans. I would not advise anyone to get into an FHA loan because, again, with the MIP, you're paying a lot of money up front towards interest, and the principal is going down very slow, So the banks is going to come out on top. You're going to pay 2, maybe 3 times as much as the home was sold, was put on the market for by the time you pay it off. So again, not against mortgages, but just one has to realize that, look, I am not a homeowner if I'm making mortgage payments. I am a loan owner. I'm a loan owner. I'm not a homeowner. I'm a loan owner. And until I make that final payment, when I make that final payment, then I can say I own this home. Many people believe they own the home while making payments. Many people believe they own the equity in the home while they're making payments. That's impossible. If you didn't have the money to buy the home, why do you think you own the equity in the home that you didn't have money to buy? If you owned the equity in the home, you wouldn't have to get a home equity line of credit. Home equity line of credit, or HELOC, proves that you don't own the home. You don't own the equity in the home. The bank is giving you money from the equity in the property that they own. It just seems so common sense to me that if an individual doesn't own the home, how can they own the equity in the home? If you own the equity in the home, you wouldn't have to get a line of credit. They're loaning you money. And again, equity is when the value of the home increases. The difference from between what the mortgage was lent for. So if the mortgage loan was $100,000, but the price of the loan, the price of the home increased in value over time to $150,000, then the equity would be $50,000, that difference. That equity is owned by the bank, not owned by you, not owned by the person with the mortgage. It's owned by the bank. And if one decides I want to get want to pull out the equity in the home, they have to get a loan. If I have $50,000 in my bank account, I don't have to get a loan from the bank for my money. It's my money. I just pull it out when I want it. Because why? I own it. It's mine. But with the home equity, with the equity in the home that you have a mortgage on, you don't own that. The bank owns that. That's why you have to pay it back. It doesn't make sense. So, but this is the program. As I said, this is all the program, the financial matrix, to make people believe they own things that they don't. That they don't. Because if, let's say you have a mortgage, you go to sell a home, and you have a second mortgage or a HELOC. Whatever the home is sold for, if a profit was made in the selling of the home, you have to pay that money back that you have the HELOC for, from whatever the profit was. So if the profit was $80,000, but you had a HELOC out of $50,000, you don't walk away with $80,000. You got to pay back what you had the home equity line of credit for, and any other costs that you may have had. So again, this is the program, and this is what we want to help people escape, become unplugged from. Realizing that you are not a homeowner with a mortgage. So if you have a mortgage, or if you're planning to finance a home by getting a mortgage, because you can't buy, only way you buy a home is with cash. And it doesn't take 15 years to buy a home. It doesn't take 30 years to buy a home. It only takes one day to buy a home. But if you have to get a mortgage, get the conventional mortgage, 15-year conventional mortgage. But it should not take you 15 years to pay down that mortgage if you're doing it right. If you're doing it right, follow the baby steps, you get to this point where you pay off your mortgage. Now you can put additional payments, make additional payments towards the mortgage to get out of that loan quicker, and then become a true homeowner. And you'll be debt-free, completely debt-free from all consumer debt and from mortgage debt. So, if you're ready to get off the rat wheel, if you're ready to begin to invest in yourself, click on the link in the chat, in the description box. Visit me at truefincoaching.com, and we can help you to invest in yourself so that you can begin to do what you want when you want, instead of having to do what you don't want. Thank you for those that have subscribed to my channel. Thank you for taking time to watch my videos and liking my videos. Don't forget to like if you haven't liked. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Also, leave a comment. Again, if you disagree with anything I said, that's fine. Put it in the comment. Be respectful, and we can continue to dialogue through the chat, through these videos. But my objective here is to help people. That's all I want to do. My objective is to help people, because I know what it's like being on that rat wheel, thinking you're a homeowner when you have a fat mortgage, and you're just tired of the cycle. So I'm here to help you. Again, visit me at truefincoaching.com. Like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, and I hope to see you in the next video. Peace and blessings.